During the Japanese tea ceremony, there are a strict set of rules you'll want to follow to make sure that you're respectful of the host. In this episode, we're going to cover Japanese tea ceremony etiquette and prepare you for your next tea ceremony. This is an excerpt from our book Matcha Masterclass, a 140-page guide containing everything you've ever wanted to know about matcha tea. If you want to get the full book, you can sign up using the link below, and we'll send you a copy. So if you want to take part in your own Japanese tea ceremony, there are a few guidelines you'll want to follow in order to be respectful of the host and the other guests. Don't be late. Punctuality is very important for the Japanese tea ceremony, and because time slots are tightly scheduled, you want to be respectful of the following guests' time. You also don't want to cause the host to stress or hurry through the tea ceremony. Punctuality is respectful of everyone's time. Wear a clean pair of white socks. You will remove your shoes during the tea ceremony, so pay attention to the socks that you're wearing. Like the rest of your clothing, you want them to be conservative, comfortable, and not too distracting. Talking as little as possible. Silence is key during the tea ceremony. As a tourist, you won't be expected to do much, but you must at least be quiet and wait for the cues from the host. Use bowing. Bowing is a good way to show respect and deference without breaking the silence. If you're unsure what to do in a particular situation, bowing is a safe bet. Most of the time, objects will be presented to you and you just need to receive them. Embrace silence. The hardest part of the tea ceremony for most guests will be the stillness and silence, but it's very important. Think of this as a practice, just like meditation. In order to get something out of the experience, you will need to lean into it, even though it makes you uncomfortable. Be careful of the tea objects. This should go without saying, but you must handle the tea utensils with the utmost care. The tea bowl should be held with two hands, both to demonstrate respect for the object, but also to ensure it doesn't drop. Do not take pictures. As a tourist in Japan, it's tempting to take pictures of every interesting thing you encounter, but it's crucial you leave your phone off during the tea ceremony. This is both respectful to the host, but it also helps preserve the tranquility of this sacred tradition. Finish your wagashi and matcha. It's important that you eat all of the sweets you're presented with and drink all of the matcha. This is seen as a sign of respect, communicating that you enjoyed the tea and the sweets. Formal tea ceremonies. It's also important to mention here that there are many different types of tea ceremonies that can vary based on time, number of people, and style. The basic tea ceremony you will likely take part in will last about 1 hour and include 1 to 5 guests. The tea prepared will be usucha and served with wagashi. Longer tea ceremonies can last up to 4 hours. When guests enter the tea room, they will be served a kaiseki or course meal. After eating, the guests will be presented with the main sweet to enjoy. After the meal, the guests will leave the tea room once again so it can be prepared for the tea. Here's a complete walkthrough of a more formal tea ceremony. Step 1. Invitations. Before a formal tea ceremony can begin, the host must first send out invitations to their guests. This is done several weeks prior to the tea ceremony, and it's very important that the invitations used are aesthetically pleasing. Step 2. Preparing the ceremony room. Before the guests arrive at the tea ceremony room needs to be prepared. There are 3 stages to this. First, the tea ceremony room needs to be cleaned. The tea ceremony is meant to be very sparsely decorated, and nothing should be around to distract the guests from the ceremony itself. After the tea ceremony room has been cleaned, it's time to set the theme of the tea ceremony. The theme of the tea ceremony can be set with the flower arrangement and the scroll hanging on the wall of the room. This scroll will usually display a quick phrase or poem to set the tone of the ceremony. Finally, some of the tea utensils can be brought out. Not all the tea utensils will be displayed, just the basic things like the kensui, kama, and mitsusashi. The rest of the objects can be brought in later once the guests have arrived. Step 3. Receiving the guests. Guests that have been invited to the tea ceremony will typically wait outside in the garden until they have been formally invited to the tea room by the host. The garden that surrounds the tea ceremony is meant to be an extension of nature itself. This represents one of the core principles of the Japanese tea ceremony, harmony. In this case, harmony with the natural world. After being announced, the guests will remove their shoes and begin to enter the tea room. They will then proceed to wash their hands as a symbol of purifying themselves. They then enter the tea room through the small door. Once the guests are inside the tea room, they will sit down. The host will then acknowledge each guest. It is here that the guests will be served their kaiseki or course meal. This usually includes traditional Japanese foods like miso, rice, fish, and vegetables. If Japanese tea ceremony sweets or wagashi are being served, they will be served to each guest during this time. Both the host and the guest will bow to each other during this exchange. The guests may then be asked to leave the tea room temporarily so it can be prepared for the next course. After sitting in silence in the waiting room, they will be called back in. Step 4. Cleansing of the tools. As mentioned before, a key principle of the Japanese tea ceremony is purity. The tea master will take out a fukusa and wipe down the chashaku, hishaku, and natsume. This is done in front of the guests to demonstrate the principle of purity. Step 5. Preparing the bowl and whisk. To prepare the thin matcha tea, the host will first scoop hot water out of the kama with the hishaku and pour it into the chawan. This is done to preheat the tea bowl so it's able to keep the matcha tea warm during the tea ceremony. Next, the tea master will soak the chasen or bamboo matcha whisk in the water to prepare it, whisking the thin matcha. After the tea ceremony utensils have been preheated, the water is cast aside in the kensui and then the chawan is cleaned off using the chakin. The bowl is then set down and the tea master will soon open up the natsume. The tea master will then take out the chashaku and draw 2 scoops of matcha powder out of the natsume and place it into the chawan. Then a scoop of hot water is drawn out of the kama with the hishaku and poured into the tea bowl. The tea master will then whisk up the matcha with the chasen or bamboo matcha whisk. She will then withdraw the whisk from the matcha bowl and then turn the bowl so the design side faces the guest. The tea is then presented to the guest. Step 9. Preparing thick matcha tea. Thick tea, or koicha, is prepared during the tea ceremony, but only for special occasions. To make this tea, the tea master will use double the amount of powder and half the amount of water. This makes the tea very flavorful and very thick. Because the tea is so thick and it's passed from guest to guest, each guest will use their kaishi, or paper napkin, to clean off the bowl before passing it to the next guest. This process is meant to foster a sense of intimacy between the guests. Step 10. Cleansing of the tools. After the utensils have been used, they are cleaned up by the host. This is of course once again to demonstrate the concept of purity. At this point, the host and the guests can take the opportunity to observe the craftsmanship of the tea utensils. Step 11. Guests depart. After all the steps have been followed, all the guests are now allowed to depart the tea room. The host will bow to each guest individually as they leave. The formal tea ceremony can take up to 4 hours, as a meal is typically served during it. The length of time depends on the season and the type of meal served. Hopefully this has prepared you for your next Japanese tea ceremony, whether it's formal or casual. In the next episode, we'll talk about the difference between the high-quality matcha used in the tea ceremony and the low-quality matcha you find being used in cafes. As you'll see, there's a big difference in terms of color, flavor, texture, and health benefits, and you really want to make sure that you choose the right one. If you don't want to wait that long, you can get the full book by signing up below, and we'll send you a free copy of Matcha Masterclass. Until then, we'll see you next time.